What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Homework Assignment Podcast, where it is our assignment to find the balance between work life and home life. I'm your host, RJ Patino, and I'm really excited to share the topic that we're going to talk about today because I feel like it's really hard to do this, and I feel like there's a lot of people out there that hold themselves back time and time again, and it's even something that even successful entrepreneurs deal with time and time again. Okay, it's not something that just happens once. It's something that happens multiple times over an entrepreneur's life, and especially when you're building a home life and a family as well. And this goes through so many of the young parents or young couples' minds. And that is to start something new, okay? To start a business, or maybe to have kids, or maybe to buy your first home. Maybe to move in together with somebody, or whatever the case is, something new. There's a lot of fear and doubt that comes with that. And for me, again, I started a business, and the start of that, there were so many doubts, fears, insecurities about myself. If I could be up to the task in order to build a business. How was I going to build the business? Okay, was I going to be able to support my family or myself financially while I was trying to gain the experience and build what I was trying to build? There's so many reasons and so many different thoughts, different mindsets that you can have that are going to turn you away from actually beginning. And I want to talk about that a little bit today because I know there are many people that you guys may know, that I know, or people you see in society that you don't know, who have once had a dream or a goal or wanted to do something in their life, and that's all it ended up being, was a dream. They never did anything to actually put a foot forward, okay, and take that first step to the other side, the side of actually doing it, the side where you actually get to see and test yourself and find out if what you're doing is going to work. Now, there's a few things that goes into starting something. Again, whether you're starting a family, starting a business, starting a new job, a new responsibility. And it may sound easy just to say, hey, just do it. But there is that saying, if you don't do it, you're never going to find out. Oh, got an itch. So I love that saying. Okay, so if you never do it, or if you never try, you're never going to find out. For me, curiosity kicks in, and I kind of want to find out what's going to happen. And I'm a curious guy, and that may not work for other people. And I'm not saying to use that as your only motivation, but that saying, which I'm sure all of us have heard before, definitely drives a little bit of curiosity, right? What's going to happen? I wonder what will happen. I wonder if it's going to work. So, in my opinion, there's a few different things that it really comes down to that's actually going to get you through that door, that's actually going to push you over that hill to begin and start something new. In my experience, I started a family and a business at the same exact time. So when we talk about that home life and work life, I had the best of both worlds kind of going on, and I was trying to figure out both. Me and my wife were trying to figure out how to get married or be married, and we were also preparing for our first kid because we had found out we were pregnant, right? So now we got to figure out how to become a parent and be a parent, what kind of parents we wanted to be, okay? And then on top of that, I started a business. So I had to figure out who I was in my business, what kind of owner, leader I was going to be. I had to figure out how to make people follow me, how to bring in more business, how to deal with money, how to deal with clients. And it's, I had a lot of doubts. I had a lot of insecurities in myself. I don't think there's anybody out there that starts something new that doesn't feel, doesn't feel like they're capable to do it right off the bat. I think there's a lot of the similar doubts and fears and insecurities that goes through everybody's head. I think it's kind of more of a universal cycle. And I feel like it's a lot of the same stuff. And for me, I sometimes have a hard time explaining, because I feel like for me it really was just doing something about it, not thinking and doing. Other people can't do that. Some people need to have a plan, need a little bit more security before they go in, and I think that's okay, but I know some people get stuck there. If not a majority of the people get stuck in that planning phase. They get stuck in the brainstorming and, oh, let's do this, let's plan this, hey, this, and this, and then they never plan on actually doing something about it. Okay, they might have a great idea, a great plan, a great concept or software that they want to build, but if you don't do anything about it, you're never going to be able to introduce that. And another thing to think about is, not doing something, you have a for sure knowledge what's going to happen. It's not going to work, right? So you have two options: not doing it, which you know the outcome already, and then doing it, which you don't know the outcome. So for me, it's like, okay, I already know what's going to happen here. Let's give this a try and let's see what happens. Because worst case scenario, what's going to happen? Well, it's not going to work. I'm going to end up back here. Okay, well, you already were here before. You're already there right now, right? So if you don't take that action, you're not going to find out. And I know 100% that every single success story that you hear about from different entrepreneurs or other people that are motivational speakers, everything that's happened in their life, everything that they tried, there was failure. Okay, I talked about this in our last podcast. Failure, don't let it scare you away. You're going to fail. I failed time and time again. I continue to fail every day. I'm not a perfect leader, not a perfect business owner. Okay, I don't always have perfect projects, even when I run them myself. I have problems. I have miscommunications as well. And so you just can't let that stop you. Okay, you need to actually put a foot forward, take all the planning if you do have some planning, and actually just do something about it. Now for me, going back to the not thinking and just doing, what's worked for me, and I don't recommend this because I don't think it's for everybody, but for me, I do something and I figure it out along the way. Okay, so I get to a point where I really want to do something, and the minute that my brain starts getting flooded with these insecurities and fears and doubts and what ifs, that's when I stop and I actually just do something about it. And I can tell you that 99.9% of the time I end up being successful in what I do. And I truly believe it's because I put my mind to it. Okay, I'm dedicated to it, I'm motivated, which brings me to the point of, if you're going to do something, you also have to be 100% into it. Okay, if you put 50% into it, you're probably not going to be successful in whatever you're trying to start. It needs to be like, this is the only option. Okay, if you're over there saying, you know what, I want to start this business, but just in case this doesn't work, I have a backup plan. You're already on the road to failure, period. If you have a plan B, you're already expecting to fail. How can you expect to win? How can you expect to succeed when you are planning for your failure? Okay, we talk about the law of attraction a lot. Okay, the law of attraction is you're attracting what you're trying to bring to you. Okay, well, the mindset of failure, hey, here's my plan B, C, D, and E, is obviously going to attract failure. And what's going to happen is when you're actually putting motion into what you're trying to start, in the back of your mind, in your subconscious, you're going to be like, okay, well, you know what? No worries. I have this plan. I have this to fall back onto. I have this to lean onto. And so you're going to be maybe a little bit more comfortable. And that's going to cause you to not grind in the moments that you have to grind as if it was the only option. Make it your only option to succeed in whatever you're trying to build, okay? I heard a story about the brand Tommy John, and I don't know if I got that name right. I hope I did, but it's a brand of shirts and underwear and clothes or undergarments, I believe. And Ed Milet had a chance to interview him, and what he talked about was that he had a job, his wife had a job, and he ended up he stopped his job. They cashed out their 401ks and they went towards this idea to create a shirt that was was going to solve the problems that so many people in the world have, and to create a brief that so many people had problems, or to solve the problem that people have with briefs, like the waistband folding over and all these other issues. And they believed in themselves. Okay, now let's think about that right there. Right now, that is a very successful brand. You guys can look it up, okay? They're a little bit more on the expensive side. They're worth it. The product's great. And he has been very successful in over the years. And, he went from whatever his normal job was to being, a very successful entrepreneur. And I guarantee, if I could call him right now and talk to him and ask him, hey, did you face any insecurities, fears, or doubts when you decided to build this business? He's going to say 100% yes. Okay. So what's the difference between entrepreneurs that succeed and start their own companies from scratch, and the people who don't want, or want to start something and haven't done it? The difference is actually doing it. Okay. Grant Cardone did a show called The Undercover Billionaire. Grant Cardone, for those of you who know, he's a very successful real estate entrepreneur, and he dabbles in a couple other businesses. And what Undercover Billionaire did is they basically took this, entrepreneur, and they took away his name, gave him a fake name, took away his phone and all of his contacts, all the people he knew, took away his wallet. He had no access to credit lines, any of his financials, nothing. Okay, they took away his vehicle, gave him an old truck, and they put him in a town where nobody knew him. And they gave him $100 and said, hey, here's your task. You are going to have to build a $1 million business in 90 days with this $100 and absolutely nothing else. Okay. He said, I'm actually going to build a $10 million business. And he went out there, and after 90 days, he had acquired over $2 million in real estate and built over a $5 million business in just 3 months. Okay. With nothing. Absolutely nothing but $100, old truck, fake name, in a town where nobody knew him. That comes to show you that your mindset and actually just doing something, pushing and going and making your first moves wherever you can, wherever you know to make them, is going to lead you to results. Again, in other episodes, we've talked about whatever action you put in, those are the results you are going to get. Coming back to, hey, well, if you put 50% effort in, guess how much of a percentage of results you're going to get? You're going to get 50% of results or less. Okay. But if you're putting 120% in, what do you think you're going to achieve? Now, another cool point to make out on the story about Grant Cardone and his adventure that he had is that it wasn't easy. If you actually go and find the episode, he had a lot of struggles, and he even faced doubts, fears, anxiety during the process. Okay, because what happened was he put his entire name, business, everything he's ever built on the line. Because who would work or who would believe in this millionaire real estate entrepreneur if he went on this show and he failed? One of the greatest salesmen in the world, and he failed. Okay, so he had a lot on the line, and he had to believe in himself. But that doesn't mean he didn't face all these hardships, all this anxiety, fears, doubts, insecurities along the way. Oh, can I do this? 30 days in, I don't have much to show for it. Can I do this? Did I make a bad choice? Okay, I face insecurities every day. And I'm going to be very honest with you. Today was one of those days. Okay, wasn't the greatest week. Okay, I was having a hard week. We all have those weeks. And, you see stuff happen or things transpire that really get you down, okay? And again, there comes fear, doubt, and insecurity, okay? Man, where am I going to be 5 years from now? Is this working? Am I doing what's right? Am I making the right decisions? The way you can defeat that is by drowning out that voice and telling yourself that you can do it, that believing in yourself, and flush it out. Find something to do about it and just go do it. Don't think, just go do. For me also at this point, I'm also able to look back and be like, okay, you know what? Well, I did this, I did that, or hey, it's been working, or you know what? Like, It worked here, it worked there, and that's also going to help solidify and bring you encouragement along the road to building your business. Okay? So if you think you guys are not going to face hard things, variables, insecurities, fear, doubt, the whole 9 yards, even when you become successful, then you misunderstand the road to success. It is always going to be there. I don't care how rich you are. I don't care who you are. I don't care how animated you are. I don't care if you're the best salesperson. I don't care if you're the number one top 0.1% in your field or industry. I do not care. You are going to face fear, doubt, anxiety, and insecurities along the way. It is part of life. Why? Because we're human, okay? We have that voice in our head that tells us, hey, careful, this might fail. Hey, careful, this isn't going to work. And you have to fight that out. I always call that voice the natural man. The natural man faces those or brings up those types of feelings, okay? You need to learn how to control the natural man. You need to learn how to overcome the natural man, because what you're going to find when you do that is only going to be success. Now, I've been told, hey, that sounds easy. It sounds easy, it sounds great. Or, hey, yeah, that's easy for you to say because you're already doing multi-millions of dollars worth of business, or you have, 6 figures, you take home, whatever the case is. And that's a bunch of crap. It's not any easier. It may be a little bit more comfortable, right? But it's not any easier. Grant Cardone also talks about the zero mindset mentality. Okay, every day, it doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account, or I have in my bank account, I wake up and I act as if I have $0. That keeps my hustle alive. That keeps me treating the game and the business and everything I do in life as if I have 0 options, as if I have nothing, as if I am already at rock bottom. If you were to have that mindset, I am already at rock bottom. My situation could not get any worse. How powerful, how dangerous would you be in implementing an idea that could change your entire life? Now take that, be like that, think like that every single day, be that dangerous every single day, be that powerful every single day, and your entire life will never be the same ever again. That's how easy it is. The start is hard, but you can make it easy by just doing something about it, by thinking the right thoughts, okay? This doesn't just entail for construction companies. This also entails for, I think everything in life. Like I said, when I go back to me and my wife getting married, right? There's a lot of people out there that are scared to get married. Well, what if I'm not good enough? What if I can't provide? What if I can't protect? And I'm talking about attributes of a man here. These are some of my personal things that I actually felt when I was about to get down on a knee and marry my wife. And that there was millions of thoughts. I actually, funny story, I took her to a lantern festival and she was staring at all the lights, and so I had the perfect opportunity to get on a knee. Well, I got on a knee, freaked myself out, got back up. Got back on a knee, freaked myself out, got back up. Got on a knee a 3rd time, and that's when I actually proposed. Looking back, I also wonder why my wife had no idea, because I literally it felt like it was like 10 minutes of me kneeling and getting back up, and she was just sitting there staring at the beautiful lights. But anyways, I'm glad she didn't turn around. Talking to her today, she feels like she should have known, but she really had no idea what was going on. So anyways, that's fantastic. But I felt all those emotions, okay? A little bit later on, before we got married, I felt those emotions again. I remember laying on a couch, watching TV with my wife, and I started feeling, can I do this? I'm about to have to provide for this beautiful woman right here. On top of that, I know we're about to have kids. I'm going to have to provide for all those kids. Or let's take it back to just a few weeks ago when me and my wife found out we're having another baby. Okay, I already have 2 girls. I have a baby pup. And I got 2 teenage siblings that I provide and care for. Now I have to have another kid. That's 5 kids total. Am I going to be able to provide? These are things that you deal with on a daily basis. And even if you decide not to start something, you're going to go to your normal job, you're going to go to your daily life, and you're going to face those same fears, anxieties, and doubts. You're going to find them just like you're going to find failure everywhere, no matter where you go, no matter what you do. So again, why not start? Why not face those same things you're going to face anywhere else over here, where the reward could be life-altering, where the journey could be incredible. Not saying that you're not going to be happy over here. I think people can be happy in a lot of different aspects. Me, I couldn't be happy working a 9 to 5. I just couldn't. I would go absolutely insane. I need more freedom, okay? Need more freedom than that. So whatever it may be, whatever your passions, desire, whatever you're thinking about building or doing right now, if we go back to, well, how do you start? That is, just do it, okay? If you don't have the right information, find out what you got to do. That's the first step. Do that. Then implement it. Okay, when all those voices and everything comes into your head, flush them out and go forward. Make a decision now, no matter what you feel, no matter what you tell yourself here in your head in the morning, at night, or when something bad happens, that you will not quit, that you will prevail, you will push through. And I promise you, in doing that, you will be successful. Period. There's no doubt about it. I feel like I face a lot of hardships that should break people, that should make people maybe take a different route in their life. And I've pushed through every single one of them. I continue to push through new ones, new problems, new variables. Okay? So the end concept or the end result is the same. When I push through, when I put 100% of myself and my heart into it, I win. I don't lose. I may lose a battle, but I win the overall war every single time. No doubt about it. It works 100%. Just like 2 + 2 = 6. Just kidding. Equals 4. It works every single time. No matter what. 2 + 2 equals the same number. Unless you're a liberal. And all of a sudden math doesn't make sense, which we'll get onto topics like that on another series, because I could talk about that for days. Let's just be real. So bringing it all together, okay? Starting a business, just do it. Do not psych yourself out. You are going to face all these same concepts, ideas, insecurities in your regular life. If you're trying to do something great, trying to build something, if you're trying to make a dream a reality, just understand you're going to face them over here, but you're going to just tell yourself you're going to do it. Because I personally rather face all of that over here, where it's so much more rewarding, there's so much more freedom, so much more happiness, okay, so much more of the feeling of success. I'd rather feel it over here than over here, where I would have to live with never knowing if I could have been over here. I could never live with that. We have one life. I could never live with that. Okay, I have met, unfortunately, because it's really sad, I've met and talked to people, loved ones, and people, acquaintances, that ended their life, instead of smiling, they look at me and say, hey, take every opportunity you can. Do what you love. And it's sad to hear that. And I'm not saying there aren't people who are happy that will tell you that, but in my experience, these are people that wish you could just see it in their eyes. Some have said it, some you can just see it in them, that they feel like they didn't live their fullest life's potential. Could you imagine, and it freaks me out to even think about it, laying in your deathbed, looking at your life and realizing that you didn't do what you hoped to do. You didn't do what you loved to do. You didn't find out what could have been. That's a scary thought. Growing up, I wanted to be a doctor. I didn't want to be a doctor later on, but I mean, I had that dream, okay? And I tried to put that into fruition, and I didn't go to med school. Why? Because it was just a dream. Now, again, I can look back and say it didn't work because it's not truly what I wanted. I thought I wanted it. So when I was trying to go for it, I was putting 50% of myself into it. So of course I never did it, right? But when I finally realized who I was and realized I wanted to own a business, I put 100% into it. And I'm here. I'm enjoying it, and I'm dealing with all the anxiety, insecurities, fears, and doubts that come along with the ride and the journey. You're never going to defeat it. So I encourage you guys to just start. Fight those fears. Fight the natural man, that voice inside your head that says you cannot do it. Fight them. Don't stop, and you will prevail. This is the homework assignment. Think about what you want to do. Think about what you've always wanted to do. Think about what makes you happy, whether that's starting a business, whether that is leaving your current job for a new job, whether that's moving your family from one state to a new state for better opportunities. Think about whatever you have to do that you've thought about before and you haven't done, and do it. And then comment, or if you have my number, call me and tell me what exactly happened when you actually did it and you put your full heart into it. Because I will be excited with you when you call me and tell me that it worked, or when you share your story with us. I believe that all this is true. I believe it because we have lived it. I have lived it, and I'm going to continue to live it every single day. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope that this podcast, these topics are helping you guys. Again, I think we've talked a lot about business, and we are going to start talking a little bit more about, home life. We're going to, again, have some guest speakers here soon. We're taking our time. We're preparing for you guys. We want to make sure this is a great show. It's very informational. But all in all, I 100% believe in each and every one of you guys that are listening to this, because you're taking the time and you're doing something about whatever it is you may want to do, and you're listening to self-improvement podcasts. You may be reading books. All in all, if you're listening to this podcast, you're already on the right direction to live the life you hope and want to live. If you haven't followed us on Instagram and Facebook, please follow us. The homework assignment. Also follow our contracting and construction company at Elder Contracting Co. We also are on YouTube. Homework assignment and Elder Contracting is on YouTube, and you'll be able to follow us through our journey, our everyday life. We're trying to document as much as possible so you guys can see the ins, the outs, the do's, the don'ts of home life, work life. You'll see me in business mode. You'll see me in podcast mode. You'll see me in family mode, friend mode. We're a huge family company, so we got best friends, father-in-laws, brother-in-laws, everything that you can imagine a family should be. Everybody works here, okay? So we get to experience this balance of life 24/7, and I 100% love it and enjoy it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Thanks for joining us.